I'm sure we all grew up eating cotton candy. It's part of some of our best childhood memories, right? This candy holds a visual appeal that's hard to resist. Kids love it, even for adults. But on Saturday, February 17th, Tamil Nadu and Puducherry announced a ban on cotton candy as it contains a harmful food coloring, which is rhodamine B. Though this chemical gives a bright pink color, it is actually dangerous to our health as it is a cancer-causing chemical. I had an insightful discussion with a pediatric hematology oncologist on why this pink-colored food item is devastating for everyone.
I read about this ban done very recently. See, in the environment, we have a lot of substances which are not natural, or these are artificial ingredients which are added for making the food look very appealing. For example, rhodamine is one chemical that is used in lot of industries. It is used in the food industry mainly as to give a very good color and make it bright way. And these artificial ingredients may not be healthy as such, right? So even if it is taken in a small quantity for a long time, this can have adverse effects. Rhodamine as a chemical can cause some problems in the stomach, it can cause some liver related problems, and also it can give rise to cancer. So any substance that can give cancer is called carcinogenic. So rhodamine is one thing that has been labeled to be causing cancer. But if I have to say, as a pediatric oncologist, I'm a childhood cancer specialist. So if I have to say, do we specifically know any food items is the cause for childhood cancer that is now increasing in number? So we do not have concrete evidence for that. But definitely the chemicals that have been labeled carcinogens should be completely banned from the food industry. So it's a very good step that Tamil Nadu government has taken, and foods being screened before being let out into the public is a very important step that is required. So I would always say the parents or the people who are consuming these artificial or processed foods to always look at the ingredients what are there. There will be a lot of added flavors, added colors, and many of them will not have a name. Like you mentioned, rhodamine is a name. Now the public is very much aware and will look for rhodamine, but there may be some names which have just the chemical number. So they say SB403, SS something. So these are all processed foods. So it's very important to have a very healthy dietary lifestyle. And it's not just for cancers, but for the spectrum of the health that we have, obesity, cardiac problems, anything, we should always try avoiding these processed foods, and especially the government should bring in policies to have a very good check on the foods. Many foods come out into the system without going through this scrutinized way, and if we find out these carcinogens, I think it has to be banned and try to be avoided. So this chemical is being used in a lot of industries, and food industry is one of which. So why is it used? Mainly for the color and the ingredient, the appealing color it gives. So anything that is not naturally having color, not natural colors, may have this product. So in the cotton candy, it's called cotton candy because that was the food that was scrutinized and it was so known, but I feel that it may be there in other candies as well, where added flavors, added colors are there, not the flavors, added color that is there. Few other places where rhodamine is used is many industries, and they let out in the which is let out in the through the fluid, the sewage fluid, and it is known to be affecting the aquatic plants as well when it is given. So I'm not very sure if this chemical, the water that is let out is actually irrigating few of the crops that we are doing, and it's very difficult to say. It's not a very easy way to find out and dissect it out, but that is another thing. Rhodamine is there in paints as well, the wall paints that are used, which are very colorful. So sometimes kids tend to go and eat these paints or something like that. It's better to avoid such things. So specifically, if you ask me any product is having, I'm not aware about it, but I'm sure it may be used a lot more than what we know. And there are mechanisms that the industries are coming up with to degrade this rhodamine. So there is something called a natural way of degradation with some bacteria being used when the food is being processed, and that can be used, and if the rhodamine content is less, probably it is okay to use such products. But till we have a clear idea, it's a good information to the public that please read the ingredients of the processed foods that you're having, and if you have some knowledge that it is not a good thing, better to avoid such foods and always prefer natural home cooked foods. Few thumb rules which I always talk to my parents is, see, most of our health is through the diet that we take, especially for kids from 5 to 15 years. That's the foundation for their entire lifestyle. So there are a lot of diseases that will track based on their habits in the early childhood. So always try to be very meticulous about what your kid is eating. Just have a good log of things that the child is taking. Second is avoid processed foods as much as possible, and in any natural food that comes, better to cook it well and eat it. Try to make foods that are indigenous to our country, to that specific place, and have it. And the third one would be, try to avoid fried and processed foods from outside. So this is very important, and a lot of physical activity should be introduced into a kid's routine. And if we do these things, probably we can take care of their lifestyle in a good way.